Keep your hands off my car, you hear me? Caroline Reddick's voice sliced through the black Escalade. The Bluetooth call on the dash had started crackling again, and Malcolm Price had only reached forward to mute the radio before the static embarrassed her. His hand froze. "You think because you drive me around you get to touch my things?" she said. "You're the help, stay in your lane." Malcolm pulled his hand back and returned it to the wheel. He didn't look at her. Chicago rushed past in cold reflections. "Put the partition up," Caroline added. "I'm tired of seeing your face in my mirror." With a soft hiss, the tinted glass rose between them. Caroline went back to her phone, calling, redialing, failing. In the front seat, Malcolm's jaw tightened once, then settled. Behind the glass, her voice climbed into panic. "What do you mean all interpreter services are booked?" Her heels tapped as she paced. "This is a billion-dollar meeting," she snapped. "They land in 90 minutes. Another call, another voicemail. "No, we cannot postpone," she hissed. "They'll walk away permanently." Malcolm kept his eyes on the road and thought about what she never admitted. Reddick Industries was 3 months from bankruptcy. This merger wasn't growth, it was survival. 200 jobs hung in the balance, including his. Caroline's next call turned desperate. "I don't care if it costs $50,000. Find someone who speaks Japanese and Mandarin, now." A pause, her voice broke. "Please," then the line went dead. Silence filled the backseat, not peaceful, just empty. Malcolm exhaled. He reached for the control panel. The partition began to lower. Caroline's head snapped up. "I told you to." Malcolm didn't flinch. "What languages do you need for the meeting?" Caroline stared as if he'd spoken nonsense. "I'm sorry, what?" "Japanese and Mandarin," he said. "Any others?" "That's not your concern." Malcolm nodded once. "Japanese, Mandarin, Hindi. Korean, Arabic, French, Spanish, Portuguese, German." The air went still. Caroline blinked. "You speak all of those?" "Yes, ma'am." Her phone rang, Nakamura Singh Holdings, the name she'd chased for 3 years. She stared at the screen like it might explode. "I can't," she breathed. "I don't have. May I take it?" Malcolm asked. Pride fought survival across her face. The phone kept ringing. Finally, she pushed it forward. Malcolm took it, brought it to his ear, and his voice changed. Not louder, different, controlled, certain. "Moshi Moshi, this is Malcolm Price calling on behalf of Caroline Reddick." Caroline froze. Because the Japanese that came out of him didn't sound learned. It sounded lived. A second voice joined the call, fast and sharp. Malcolm listened, then answered with measured respect. He switched to Mandarin when the legal counsel stepped in. Contract language, IP transfer terms, timelines. Halfway through, Malcolm covered the phone. "They're insulted," he said softly. "Your draft contracts sounded like commands. They think you see them beneath you." Caroline's stomach dropped. "Fix it." Malcolm returned to the call, apologizing without weakening, offering respect without begging. The tension on the other end thinned. A pause, then a quiet laugh. 20 minutes later, Malcolm handed the phone back. "They're still coming," he said, "but we need to repair trust in the room." Caroline stared at him. "Who are you?" Malcolm guided the Escalade into the underground garage beneath Reddick Tower. Concrete, fluorescent light. The smell of cold exhaust. "Someone who needed work 3 years ago," he said, "and someone who still believes in second chances." They rode the elevator up in silence. Caroline's voice came out smaller. "Tell me the truth." "PhD in International Relations," Malcolm said. "Master's in Applied Linguistics, 22 years as a federal diplomatic translator." Caroline's throat tightened. "Trade agreements, crisis mediation. Rooms where one wrong word starts a war," she swallowed. "Why are you driving?" "Budget cuts," Malcolm said. "My mother's oncology bills didn't pause for my resume. My daughter's medical school didn't wait for my pride." The doors opened to panic. Rebecca, Caroline's assistant, rushed over. "They're here early. They're asking about cultural protocols and nobody knows." "It's handled," Caroline said, surprising herself with how steady she sounded. She looked at Malcolm. "You need a suit." 15 minutes later, he returned in navy, conservative, precise. The Nakamura advance team stood. Malcolm bowed with perfect depth and timing, then greeted them in Japanese. Their faces softened with relief. Caroline sat beside him and listened as he did more than translate. He kept the room from slipping into offense. He redirected sharp questions into respectful clarity. He explained quietly to Caroline, in their culture, partnership is personal before it's legal. An hour later, the board convened, tense and proud. "We need a verified professional service," Marcus Hale said. "You have one," Caroline replied, "Mr. Price." A thin smile from marketing. "Appearances matter." Malcolm waited, then spoke calmly. "If you're worried about gifts," he said, "don't buy luxury, buy meaning, learn their history. Show respect with details." Silence. The doubters didn't like him, but they couldn't dismiss him anymore. At 10:30, the full delegation arrived. Hiroshi Nakamura, 73, sat with quiet authority. Priya Singh, direct and sharp-eyed, held her tablet like a weapon. Their Mandarin legal counsel, Mr. Chen, scanned the terms. Caroline entered with Malcolm at her side. The first hour moved smoothly, then Singh stopped. "We received a report from Mumbai," she said. "Your IP protection is insufficient. We cannot proceed." Cold spread through Caroline's chest. Malcolm leaned in. "What specific concern?" Singh's assistant murmured in Hindi. Malcolm answered in Hindi, gentle but firm, and the assistant's eyes widened. Malcolm looked back at Singh. "The intrusion attempt was detected and blocked last night. I coordinated with your regional director. The breach failed." Singh stared. "You coordinated this?" "Yes," Malcolm said, "and we identified the competitor responsible. I can confirm now." He called on speaker, 3 languages, a clean timeline, a calm resolution. When the call ended, Singh's expression had changed. "Impressive," she said quietly. Nakamura spoke in Japanese, grave. Malcolm listened, then translated. "He's asking if you understand a 50-year partnership." Caroline's mouth went dry. Malcolm answered in formal Japanese, careful and respectful, telling a short story about honoring those who built the past while building for the next generation. Nakamura's face softened. He nodded once, slowly. Mr. Chen raised a concern in Mandarin, pointing to a clause. Malcolm studied it, asked 2 precise questions in Mandarin, then replied with technical clarity. "The architecture is different," he said. "The overlap is superficial." Chen nodded, satisfied. 3 hours later, pens touched paper. A 50/50 partnership valued at $1 billion. The room exhaled. Then Nakamura stood and spoke in careful English. "This partnership succeeded because Mr. Price understands respect," he said. "I have not seen such cultural intelligence in 40 years. He bowed to Malcolm. Singh stepped forward, offering her card with both hands. "We would be honored to work with you." Malcolm accepted with quiet dignity. "Thank you." Caroline felt heat behind her eyes and hated that it took a crisis for her to see him. When the delegation left, Caroline faced her board. "Effective immediately," she said. "Malcolm Price is Executive Vice President of Global Relations." Murmurs, she didn't slow down. "Salary $280,000, equity. A cultural intelligence division under him." Malcolm's breath caught. Later, in Caroline's office, he made a call. "Hey, sweetheart," he said, voice breaking. "Sit down. No, you're not transferring. Your school is paid." When he returned, Caroline chose honesty. "I was wrong," she said, "about everything." Malcolm held her gaze, not cruel, not soft, just true. "Start by looking," he said. "Then keep looking. That's how it changes." That night, the city glowed beyond the glass. Caroline remembered the partition sliding up. How easy it had been to hide a person. How expensive it had been to stay blind. And somewhere tomorrow morning, someone would step into a car and never ask a single question. Unless they remembered this. Talent doesn't always wear a suit. Sometimes it opens your door, says nothing, and waits for you to notice. The next time you meet the help, listen closer. You might be staring at a survivor, a scholar, lifetime of skills, hidden behind a uniform you never respected before.